Good evening, everybody. It's Bobby Harvey once again live from the station platform here in downtown Ottumwa, Iowa, where we have what's looking to be a pretty interesting, and for rail fans at least, an exciting evening here at the station in Ottumwa, as we are awaiting not just the regularly scheduled Westbound California Zephyr, but also the Eastbound California Zephyr is on its way, running very late, and both trains are slated to be here in Ottumwa at pretty much the same time this evening. Now, the eastbound train's normal scheduled arrival time in Ottumwa is about 9 a.m. They had some issues out west with one of the locomotives, and there's actually a freight locomotive leading the train right now. They are now 10 hours late, and they are approaching, as we speak, from the west, coming east towards Ottumwa. Now, that train's estimated arrival time now is 7 p.m. The normal westbound train, which is also on its way, its regularly scheduled departure time is 6:57. They were running just a tad late out of Mount Pleasant, and their estimated arrival time is also 7 p.m. So it's going to be pretty interesting, a pretty interesting evening, to say the least. Be interesting to see just what train will arrive first. So we are waiting here at the station platform, and we've got about 20 minutes, give or take, for the next, for the action to really begin here. Now, right before I started the stream, I got a comment from A Train. I think he said something about a westbound local went through agency, and the signals to the west right now were lined for some sort of westbound. So I don't know if that's the local, if it's going to come slipping through really quick, or if it's going to be Amtrak first. I don't know. But there is a westbound train lined. Let me check the signals again real quick just to see if that's still the case. Well, clearly it is, because we have a westbound train approaching right now. So this must be that local train. Let's see what it is. So our first train, as we wait for 2 Amtrak trains, is a BNSF freight. It might be that local that A Train was talking about, and we're going to find out pretty quick here. So we are live, just starting out tonight here in Ottumwa, waiting for not just 1, but 2 Amtrak trains, and we've got a BNSF freight approaching right now. So bonus trains right off the bat here in Ottumwa. Let's see what it is. So our first train has already cleared the platform. Now, normally during the week, I believe that would be train 663. But I think, and I may not be correct with this, but that's the train clearing up their warrant right now. All right, so that was that train clearing up their warrant, running on CTC trackage now west of Ottumwa. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that during the week, that train is considered a local, train 663. Its counterpart, 664, runs east. But I think sometimes, oh, there's Mark popping in with a super chat. Well, thank you very much, Mark. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Of our regular viewers here on the live streams, very generous, pops in with those super chats quite often, so I really appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. So anyways, those are local trains, but I think during the weekend BNSF runs them as regular freights, and you might have noticed that that train was pretty long for the local that normally comes through here. So it may have been running with a Gale EDY regular train symbol. I'm not sure about that, but I did hear that sometimes in the weekends they run as regular trains and run with crews that aren't assigned to the locals, but I don't know about that. So it was either train 663 or a Gale EDY manifest freight. But obviously, it still has the same type of freight as the local. Leader was a GE locomotive. You might have noticed that the second locomotive in that train was looked like an overhauled SD60M, which is always nice to see those engines out and about. Too bad it wasn't leading, but still neat to see regardless. So that was our first train of the night as we wait for not just one, but two Amtrak California Zephyrs. Now, for those of you just joining in, we are waiting for both trains. They are actually going to arrive in town at pretty much the same time. Obviously, they're not going to be on the platform at the same time. One of them is going to come in first and then the other, but I don't know which one yet. Now, for a while, the eastbound was timed to come in sooner. But now, or at least the last time I looked before I started the stream, they were estimated to come in at the same time, 7 p.m. But one of them is going to go first. Just don't know which one. I would think that they would let the eastbound come in first since they are so late. The westbound could easily make up any time that they lose waiting. And I say that because I'm pretty sure that they are using the platform, the new refurbished platform here in Ottumwa. They're using it exclusively. I do not think they're using the middle platform for passengers anymore, as evidenced by the lack of weed control that they're doing on the old platform. And it's going to be taken out anyway, so I do not think they're using the middle platform anymore. So all passenger trains will be using the new overhauled refurbished platform on this side. So my guess, and I don't know yet, but my guess is that they are going to run the eastbound train 6 first and then cross it over east of the station and then let the westbound train 5 come in after that. We'll see. That makes the most sense, but we will see what happens. So thank you to everybody that's joined in so far. We are just getting started.
one you're waiting on is going to the plant now.
Okay, there is our confirmation. My theory that I just proposed, if you will, has been confirmed to be correct. Train 6 will be first, and then 5, just as I suspected, will be waiting at the crossover for them to cross over from main 1 to 2, and then 5 will come in after that. So it's going to be very interesting. Maybe not quite as interesting as one of the trains, 2 late trains that I got many years ago. Back in, I think it was 2016 or 2017. Obviously, this was back when they were still using both platforms. I managed to catch eastbound and westbound trains, but it was almost instantaneous. The eastbound came in first on main 2, which is the track furthest from us, and did their station work. Train 5, the normal westbound at this time of day, was waiting east of the station, and then as soon as 6 started to depart, they started crawling forward towards the station. And I figured something like this would happen, and I moved my camera. I had my video camera with me. I moved it all the way down to the other side of the platform near the Market Street crossing, and as eastbound train 6 was departing, westbound train 5 was coming in, and they both met each other coming by my cameras at Market Street as they came into the station. Really cool moment, and it's something that you have to be literally in the right place at the right time to get something like that. And it just happened to be they were both in Ottumwa at the same time, and they both passed each other. But you probably will not see something like that ever again because, as I said, they are using this platform exclusively, and it's impossible for both trains to be running into the station or out of the station at the same time now, unless they were to use the middle platform, which again, I do not think they're using it anymore. I think now that this platform is done, that all the Amtrak trains are stopping on this platform, and the crossovers are also fixed or in place, so BNSF can cross them back and forth at will. Wow! Good grief, Mark. Thank you very much. Another super chat. Incredible. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Very loyal viewer and very generous too. Thank you so much. I do enjoy doing these live streams, and it's a lot of fun to do these specific Amtrak station stop live streams too. I know you guys really enjoy them. Now, you might have noticed that I have not done a live stream. I think it's, I don't think I did one last week. I did one the week before, but I did not do one last week. And I was actually not going to do one this weekend either. But I just happened, I was eating supper, and I just happened to be looking at trainorders.com, which I'm a member of Train Orders. So I look there daily at the train news and whatnot. And I just happened to see somebody posted over in Omaha that the Eastbound Zephyr was about 10 hours late. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. 10 hours late. That would put it into Ottumwa at about 7 p.m., about at the same time as the westbound. So I'm like, oh, they're probably going to meet. So I might as well do a live stream and get both trains. So I wasn't going to do one this weekend, but I decided to anyways. And the reason I didn't do one last weekend and almost didn't do one today or yesterday is the fact that I have been working very hard in my spare time on my O-gauge train layout in the spare bedroom in our new house. And I am very close to finishing it. Well, getting the track wired up and getting it ready for trains to run on. Obviously, there's a lot more work to be done after that, but the hardest part, getting everything wired up and getting all the tracks set up and stuff, is almost done. So I've been working on that, and I still have several more. I'm wiring up, soldering the feeder wires and everything and getting them all hooked up. And it's kind of a tedious process. It's probably my least favorite part of model railroading is wiring. Second least favorite part is doing the bench work, but it's pretty straightforward. But wiring is just kind of tedious, so not a big fan of it. But it's important to wire up your layout and wire in all the feeder wires and everything, so you got a good connection all the way around. It's a small layout, but I'm putting in several feeders to make sure that there's a constant electrical voltage all the way around. So my conventional locomotives will run pretty smoothly all the way around the layout. And it's a 2-track layout. It runs kind of in an oval, and it kind of bumps out on one end and goes around. And there's a small yard and a few little spur tracks I'm going to have some industries on and stuff. So it's a small layout. It's about like 10 and a half feet wide and about 6-7 feet deep on the deepest end, and it's about 4.5-5 feet deep on the other side. So it's a small layout, but it's going to be action-packed. So that's what I've been working on the past couple of weeks, and that's why I didn't do a live stream last weekend. Just wanted to focus on that more in my free time. Now I am hoping, of course, it all depends on how much free time I have in the meantime, but I'm hoping to get it all wired up and done within the next week or so. Maybe by next weekend, we'll see, depending on what I can nibble through in the week to come. I'm hoping to get the wiring completed and get the trains running. And then after that, the hardest, if you will, part of model railroading, getting a layout up, will be over. And then the fun part begins, running trains and also putting the buildings up and putting in the roads and the cars and all the scenery and all that fun stuff. But obviously, once the wiring's up, I will be able to operate trains. So clearly that's the most important part of running a train layout, is running trains. So I'll be glad to at least get that part up and running. And obviously coming up in, believe it or not, less than a month away. In fact, I think it's like 25 days or something like that, is the beginning of the Midwest Old Threshers reunion in Mount Pleasant. And I probably won't do a live stream from Mount Pleasant like I did last time, but we'll see. I'm probably just going to focus on regular filming this time. Be there all 5 days, tentatively, and it's coming up soon. It's hard to believe that we're almost to that time of year again. The next big thing going on in Ottumwa, in Iowa, Old Threshers doesn't happen in Ottumwa, and neither does the State Fair. But the next big thing happening in Iowa is the State Fair. And that will be happening, kicking off this Thursday. Now, if you're into trains, there are some railroad activities at the State Fair. Most notably, the large Central Iowa Railroad Club's train layout, HO scale train layout. It is huge, and it's a big deal to go in. You pay a small fee, and you get to go in and see the layout. And it's air conditioned, so if it's a really hot day at the fair, you can kind of dip in there and watch the trains go around. And it's a really, really neat place. Well, I believe our train is approaching from the west. First train of the night, Amtrak-wise. And this is going to be the Eastbound Train 6. The very late Train 6. Probably can't see it yet because that platform sign is in the way, but I did see it rounding the bend, so it is coming here pretty rapidly. So we'll get back to our conversations here in a moment. In the meantime, we have got some action coming towards us now. The Eastbound California Zephyr. Now, as I said in the beginning of the stream, there was some engine issues out west. So the lead P42, whichever one it was, is off the train, and Union Pacific put a freight locomotive on the front as an SD70 ACE, and it is leading the train now and will lead the train all the way to Chicago. And unfortunately for the passengers, they'll be getting there probably after midnight. But for us train enthusiasts, and especially for our live stream tonight, it will allow us to see 2 Amtrak trains for the price of 1. And here it comes now. Amtrak's Eastbound California Zephyr train 6, our second train of the night, and our first Amtrak train of 2. We got a pretty interesting consist of the train tonight. There's a diner lounge on the train, as you can see right there, along with the normal dining car. That's interesting. 3 coaches, and there is an extra lounge car on the end. All right, folks, we have arrived. YouTube.
YouTube.
Yep.
What's your channel?
Bobby Harvey Video Productions.
I'll check it out.
What's that?
Are you working with that?
No, I just do it for fun. Yeah, I'm just a
He's
train
live,
guy.
He's live right now on
Yep.
YouTube.
Yep. Yep.
That's pretty cool. And say that name again?
Bobby Harvey Video
Bobby.
Productions.
Bobby Harvey.
Yep.
YouTube.
Yep.
So you just train.
Usually, that's what I mainly do.
There was one train, he was probably going 100 miles an hour in a game. We passed by here a couple of trains ago.
Yeah.
We were, from this way, and he was going that way. And he was like shaking us.
Five, got a warrant up to 2530, you made two. 2530, made. I'm there, you going, yes, sir? Right, one second.
What's up?
All right. All right, yes indeed, that was the warning horn. Definitely a lot louder than it normally is with that K5 LLA of that SD70 ACE up front. Definitely a much different view than what we normally get of the train with the engines down front. All the cars are down here when the eastbound comes in, so we're right in the middle of all of the passengers getting off and stretching their legs, and walking around. And even though the train is 10 hours late, from what I could see, it looked like the passengers were all in pretty good spirits. Sometimes on Amtrak, you just kind of have to roll with it and enjoy the ride. And if you're a rail fan, 10 hours late just means you're on the train 10 more hours. So, which I've been on some late Zephyrs. One that was 9 hours late going east a few years ago. It was a fun trip. Got to detour around Omaha and some different track around Omaha and Council Bluffs due to flooding. Of course, this train just had engine problems. That's why they were delayed so much. But and an interesting consist tonight. We have a diner lounge in the consist, along with an extra sightseer lounge car. Pretty interesting. Talking to some of the passengers, telling them about my YouTube channel. And quite a few passengers on the train tonight, too. So this is, for those of you joining in, this is the Eastbound Zephyr. 10 hours late and a very long consist. I wasn't really paying attention when the train came in. I think we have like 2, maybe 3 sleepers along with the regular transition car. A dining car, diner lounge, 3 coaches, and a lounge car at the end of the train. Here they go. As you can see, the lights on the side of the cars, those are brake lights. When they turn green, it means the brakes have been released. Here they go. The Eastbound California Zephyr departing Ottumwa. 10 hours late. 3 coaches. And the last car on the train is a lounge car. Doing their running brake test as they leave the station. As you can see, one of the tail lights on the train is burned out. But for those of you just joining us, technically you haven't missed the normal Amtrak train of the night. That is the Eastbound Zephyr departing the station. They had engine troubles out west. One of the normal Amtrak diesels was swapped out for a Union Pacific freight locomotive, and they are just now departing Ottumwa 10 hours late. So if you just joined in, just go ahead and back up the stream about 10 minutes or so, and you'll be able to see them come in. Now, this is really cool because we don't normally get to see this many passenger trains in this short a time in Ottumwa. Waiting just east of here at the new crossover that BNSF put in is the Westbound California Zephyr. They are waiting for the eastbound train to clear the station and cross from main 1 to 2, and then they're going to be coming in and doing their station work. So we're going to be seeing another Amtrak train tonight after already seeing the eastbound train 6. And as I said before the train departed, we're in a different position than we normally are with the westbound train. Obviously, since that train's going east, when the train stops, we're near the end of the train where all the coaches are and all the passengers. We're right in the middle of all the action as the passengers get out and stretch their legs during the station stop. And the fresh air stop, I think it's what it's officially called. And then the warning whistle, you heard, sounded like a freight train. It's because it was a freight locomotive on the front of the train. Union Pacific SD70 ACE. Now, obviously, when they have a freight locomotive on the train, freight engines are geared to a different gear ratio. Usually their top speed is about 70, 73, 75 miles an hour. So they can't make normal passenger train speeds. I think their top speed is usually 70 miles an hour. So, because of that, whenever a freight engine is put on the front of Amtrak, the train will lose significant time as they go along because the train can only go at a top speed of 70 miles an hour. Now, usually there's enough padding in the schedule so that if the train keeps going at that rate, they might still not lose much more time, I guess, but speed-wise, you are going a lot slower, about 10 miles an hour slower than normal, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up. For example, if you're going 80 miles an hour for 3 hours, and instead you're going 70 miles an hour, well, you're going 30 fewer miles in that 3 hours than you would going 80 miles an hour. So it doesn't sound like much, but when you're a train going all the way across the country, across 2.5 days worth of time over 3 separate days, that can add up pretty quick. And that's providing you don't run into any other issues along the way. I mean, it's kind of like Murphy's Law a lot on the railroads. If anything can go wrong, it will. And sometimes one thing goes wrong, a bunch of things go wrong. So, but that's traveling in general. You have to be prepared for things to not go the way you expect, because sometimes they don't. You got to prepare for that, because you don't want your trip to be ruined because the train was late, or your car got a flat tire, or your flight was canceled, whatever mode of transportation you're traveling on. You got to prepare for, things to happen that aren't quite ideal. Which is why you should always give yourself some extra time to get to where you're going if you can, especially if you're on vacation. And give yourself some extra days so that if something does happen, you'll just be a little late. And you'll still get there, obviously, but longer trip. Have a ambulance going across the bridge behind us right now. And the signal to our west now is at an approach aspect for the Westbound California Zephyr, which I think I hear the crossing bells to the east. Pretty sure is coming in now. Now, back in the day, I mean, even back in the day when there were many more scheduled trains in Ottumwa, way back in the, pre-Amtrak days, I don't think there were ever any trains scheduled to come in this close in succession. I could be wrong, but it's pretty cool to see 2 passenger trains come into Ottumwa, one right after another like this. And this is how it is tonight. We just saw the Eastbound Zephyr. Here comes the normal, regularly scheduled at this time, Westbound California Zephyr, Train 5. Here we go. Well, and we have arrived. Amtrak's Westbound Zephyr, Train 5. Trailing locomotive number 171. And our leader, engine 136. Change of engineers here in Ottumwa. The conductors and engineers change. The engineer getting on will take this train all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, an interesting tidbit about engine 136. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain that 136 was the very first Genesis locomotive I saw painted in Phase 5. You got to go way back to 2002. And I'm pretty sure that that was the first Phase 5 Genesis diesel that I ever saw. Now, as we pan down here to the lead trucks on 171, looks like it had some overhaul work done. These are the GE bolsterless trucks used on Genesis locomotives. That left spring apparatus there, part of the truck, has been replaced. And if you look over on the right-hand side, on the other axle, you'll see the plate for the ATS shoe that is used on some of the Amtrak lines that allow speeds higher than 79 miles an hour, like the Southwest Chief and some of the trains in California. There's a special shoe that's mounted right there that allows the ATS signals to go into the train. And obviously that can be taken on and off, and they don't need it for this train. I think it's kind of neat that there are always some passengers that walk pretty much the length of the train when they have the ability to do so. I definitely did on my cross-country journeys on Amtrak. And there's the warning whistle. A little abridged version. So all the passengers that have been out on the platform walking around need to get back on the train so they can get out of town. Still have an approach aspect down to the west at the signals with the CPKC. I don't know, that might actually be a diverging approach. Yellow over green. Can't quite tell, but it might be that, which would make sense. There's a new crossover to the west as well. This train's probably going to cross over to overtake freight trains. We'll see what they say on the radio. Here we go. Looks like 171 definitely had some overhaul work done recently. Looks pretty good. There's our Viewliner baggage car, transition sleeper. And the sleepers. We have 3 of them on the train tonight. Running brake test, leaving the station, which they always do when they change engineers. Dining car. Lounge car. 3 coaches. Last one being a coach baggage. And off they go. Amtrak's Westbound Zephyr, now clear of the station platform here in Ottumwa. So 2 Amtrak trains in quick succession, something you do not get to see every day. Certainly glad that I could show you guys this tonight during the live stream for this weekend. Definitely glad that I didn't do one yesterday and that I just happened to look at the internet tonight to know that the Eastbound Zephyr was late, and so that I could present this to you all tonight. Westbound Zephyr running pretty much on time, just a little late, but not by much. Nothing compared to the eastbound that we saw a few moments earlier that is over 10 hours late. So I'm gonna look at the signals real quick before the train knocks it down, just to see what the aspect really is. It is indeed a yellow over green, which is diverging approach. Which that means the next signal, well, I don't know if that's diverging approach or if it's advance approach. I'm not sure of the correct terminology. But that means, and the Zephyr just knocked it down, so they're heading into the plant now. But I'm pretty sure that means that the next signal is a diverging, you're going through the crossovers, and it basically lets the engineer know to slow down a little bit because the next signal will be diverging clear. But even though the signal is clear, you're going through a crossover, so you need to slow down to the prescribed crossover speed. So diverging approach, which is yellow over green, pretty much warns the engineer that they're coming up to that. So they are crossing the train over, probably because I don't know if that first train, the local or Gale EDY, whatever train that was that we saw come in first tonight on the stream, they might still be out and about. They were mentioning something about a van, so I don't know if they're gonna come up on their hours of service before they get to Eddyville. If so, they're gonna cross Amtrak over before that so they can get around that train. So here we are, folks. We're gonna let the stream roll another 8 minutes so we can get it up to probably about an even hour, and probably won't see anything else tonight, but we'll go through you guys' comments and talk for just a little while longer before we wrap things up tonight. And yes, people are starting to comment saying this is one of the best streams that I've done. And action-wise, I would agree. It's very unique, stuff we don't normally get to see at this time during a stream. So once I read about that on train orders, I saw that train was late. And I'm like, well, 10 hours late, so that means it would come into Ottumwa at about 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's about the same time as the westbound. So we're gonna have 2 trains. I better get out there and do a live stream so I can get both trains in one stream. That would be kind of cool. So And that's exactly what happened. And we also got a BNSF freight movement right at the beginning of the stream as well. So pretty good night. Like I said, we're going to go for about 7 more minutes or so. Get through you guys' questions and comments in the chat. We'll go back up here a little ways. Let's see. There's a lot of people here tonight. James is here. Nate's here. He's the first guy that commented. Welcome. Dakota's here. Train Boy 1522 Productions was here. I'm a Savage Entertainment was here. Now, Train Boy 1522 Productions asked earlier, and this is a really good question. He asks, well, first off, I don't know if you guys are aware of the excursions that are going to be going on the Iowa Interstate in about a month. The Railroading Heritage of Midwest America is going to be getting out their Centennial locomotive, Union Pacific 6936, and they are actually going to be running excursions on the Iowa Interstate in the middle of September. They're going to be running to, I think it's, where is it? Wilton? They're going to be running to Wilton, and then they're going to go to South Amana to turn around and then go back east. And then the next day, they're going to go to Bureau on the Iowa Interstate and turn around and come back. Yeah, A-Train asks Walcott. They might be going to Walcott. But I think they're also, if you get the all-day tickets, I think they're also going to be going all the way to South Amana to turn around and come back. And that's going to be a big deal. And he asks if I'm going to chase the train on the Iowa Interstate. Well, unfortunately, I will not be able to go get that train because you already have upcoming engagements, if you will. It'll be the family will be going to Branson that weekend, so we are going to be out of state. We will not be anywhere near the Quad Cities, so I will not be able to get those trains, which is partially unfortunate, but it's not really unfortunate because obviously in Branson you have the Branson Scenic Railway, and actually they got a new locomotive recently that is pulling the train. So it's not really a loss because what I would have seen here, I am still going to be seeing trains in Branson and maybe along the way going to and from Branson as well. So even though I won't be able to get that train, I will still be able to see trains that weekend. So the answer to that question, I will not be able to see that excursion. But this is just the beginning of the excursions put on by the Railroading Heritage of Midwest America. Obviously, they're working on Union Pacific 3985 and 5511, the steam engines. When they get those overhauled, it's going to be incredible what they're going to be able to do with those engines out on the Iowa Interstate and hopefully some other lines as well. And obviously they also have their overhauled Santa Fe -8 that'll probably get out and see some excursion running as well. So even though I'm missing this one, they're going to be doing many, many, many more excursions in the future, probably on a regular basis, along with their event that they do in the Quad Cities every year, the big train and car show event, which is the second year they've done that. It's a big deal. So I'll miss out this year, but there'll be plenty of other opportunities to get more in upcoming years. So it's not really a big loss. And as I've said in previous streams, there is a lot to do in Branson. So I'm definitely not going to be bored in Branson. So I hope you guys get, if anybody is able to get pictures of the train and the excursion up here, please do so. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures of those excursions and video when it comes out. I have chased many Iowa interstate excursions over the years with the QJs, and I've actually filmed all of that track at one time or another in the past, well, almost 20 years, all the way out to Bureau. It's very interesting out there in Illinois, on the Illinois side of the Iowa interstate, and all of the trackage in Iowa is also very interesting. So I'm sure you guys are going to get a lot of good pictures and video from those excursions coming up in middle of September. Obviously, the next big event coming up soon is, along with the Iowa State Fair in Des Moines, is the Old Threshers reunion in Mount Pleasant. Is just a little over 3.5 weeks away. Pretty sure by this Thursday it will be 3 weeks away. You're getting very close. Yep, and as Dakota mentions, for those of you that are familiar with the locomotives on the Midwest Central Railroad at Old Threshers, Engine 9, the Shea geared locomotive, hasn't been running at the Old Threshers reunion for the past couple of years. It missed 22. It came back in 2019 and ran at the 2019 reunion. Obviously, due to COVID, there was not a reunion in 2020, but the Shea was also operating in 2021. And then after that, right before the 22 reunion, they found some, I don't know if they were cracks necessarily, but some weak spots in the boiler of Engine 9. And so just out of abundance of caution, they took it out of service, and they've been working on it for the past couple of years, getting it worked on and boiler work done and getting it ready to run again. Had some help from the Durango and Silverton Railroad, brought some people out to assist with that overhaul. And as Dakota just mentioned earlier in the stream, that number 9 has passed the hydro test, which basically means they fill the boiler with water, pressurized water, and the pressurized water will detect any leaks in the boiler. Obviously, if there are any leaks, their water will come spraying out at really high pressure. Obviously, it's a lot safer to test a boiler with pressurized water as opposed to normal heat and boiler pressure from a fire. It's a lot safer because, well, if there's a leak, the water just comes gushing out. If there's a leak under actual heated air pressure, I mean, the boiler could explode. So we would not, so it's a lot easier to do hydro tests. And Engine 9 passed the test. So, there's an ambulance going over. We actually have a CPKC train going through right now. I don't know if you guys can see it down there. We'll kind of show you as we wrap up the stream for the night. Somebody said there were some new engines on it too. You can kind of see it down there. The engine's just cleared the BNSF down there. So we'll leave the camera pointed that way as we wrap things up tonight and go through the rest of the comments. But yes, Engine 9 just passed its hydro test, which is good. So now they just have to finish putting the finishing touches back on the engine. I don't know if any jacketing was removed when they were doing the boiler tests or anything like that, but basically putting the engine back together from whatever they had to remove to do the repairs and testing. And then hopefully, we have our fingers crossed. I don't have any official word from the Midwest Central yet, but we are hoping that Engine 9 is back for the 2025 reunion, which will be beginning in just a few weeks. And then we will have 2 operating steam engines back at Old Threshers for the first time since 2021. So that'd be a big deal. I enjoy seeing the diesel engines running, but I really like seeing the Shea run too. And it was gone for many years. It was out in Georgetown on the Georgetown Loop Railroad. So haven't seen it many times since it came back because of these issues that they're getting worked out. So looking forward to seeing it again. So hopefully everything's good and they put everything back together in time and run it for a few tests and get it ready for the reunion. Now, on the Midwest Electric Railway side, the trolleys that run at the reunion around the campgrounds, they actually have a new trolley for this year, a new remanufactured, overhauled trolley. It is a streetcar 1811. It is a sister car to their Peter Witt streetcar 1945, which has been on the grounds for many years. And it's a new addition to the Midwest Electric, and it will most certainly be running at the reunion. So it's going to be a big deal. This is also the 75th anniversary of the Old Threshers reunion, and also my 25th time attending the Old Threshers reunion. And this will be the 20th year I've filmed the trains at Old Threshers. So a lot of milestones being reached this year and a lot of exciting things to look forward to as far as trains go at the reunion. So that is coming up in the next few weeks. Obviously, that will be the next big video that I will be working on and putting out. Hopefully, we'll get it out within the next, month or two after the reunion, since I don't really have any other ongoing projects that I'm working on right now as far as the feature-length videos go. I have all the video, and I'm starting to organize some of the video clips for my Amtrak California Zephyr documentary video from Chicago to Emeryville, California, the entire train, onboard and trackside views, and a montage similar to my Southwest Chief video that I made back in 2016. I have all the video for it, and I'm starting to organize things, but I haven't really started actually working on any of the video yet. So Old Threshers will be first, and then the Zephyr will probably be after that, if I don't push it back even further. But it's ready to go. I just need to clean my palette, so to speak, and start working on it. But with my O-gauge train stuff that I've been working on right now, as well as Old Threshers coming up, I do not want to start any other video projects until Old Threshers is over, so I can get the Old Threshers video out sooner than the past several years. I don't want to release it like in almost summer the following year, always because I've been working on a video before that, and then working on the Old Threshers video, which just pushes everything further and further back. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to pretty much clean my plate before Old Threshers every year so that I can get that video out sooner after the reunion is completed. So I'm hoping to get the Old Threshers video out in, October, maybe early November, something like that, when Old Threshers is still fresh in everybody's minds. And that way I can start the new year with no ongoing video projects and hopefully get some more put out on YouTube, including the California Zephyr, many other videos as well. Many other videos that I could do. I say this every stream, but there are many other video projects that I could work on. I have so many hours and hours of video that I've taken over the years that I haven't really done anything with yet, so I can literally just pluck whatever footage I want out of my archive and make a video at any time, so I'll never run out of things to do as far as making new videos. In the meantime, I'm enjoying doing these live streams. Still planning on maybe doing some vlogging, travel videos in the future. We'll see about that. But the main focus now, looking forward to Old Threshers and also getting my O-gauge trains out for you guys to see as well, the new layout. So be on the lookout for those coming up, as long as in addition to more live streams. So we are at 67 minutes now. See, a lot of you have departed for the night, as well as the trains. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for this evening. But it has been a very interesting and fun evening down here in Ottumwa, and I'm glad you all joined in on all the fun tonight. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Next weekend, we'll not be doing a live stream next weekend, most definitely, because it'll be the State Fair. We'll be probably doing State Fair things this weekend instead of being here. That's okay, because Iowa State Fair is something I really look forward to. So no live streams next weekend, but we will probably tentatively shoot for the following week, which would be the week of the 16th and 17th, somewhere in there. So we will shoot for that for the next live stream, and I might put up some normal uploads before then of my O-gauge train layout or something along those lines. So we will see. I'm making sure that got through all the comments here for the most part. Well, Mark asked the status of Union Pacific 844. It operates. Right now, Union Pacific is focusing on running the big boy. The big boy ran this year a very short run from, I think it was from Cheyenne to Colorado and back. It was a very much shorter run than they normally do. But they said that they're going to be doing something big for the 250th anniversary or birthday of America next year in 2026. So it would not surprise me if 844 came out next year. But the engine does operate. It's just they've been focusing on the big boy the past few years. And there was another question here I'm going to answer really quick. DB42 asked if they're using the rebuilt coach washer in the Chicago yard. Those engines look pretty clean. Well, last I knew that the washer got fixed, but then I thought that there was something else wrong with it and it had to be fixed again. So I don't know if that's working or not, the car washer. But I do know they have a new one. I'm not sure if it's actually being used yet or not. We have had a lot of rain up here lately, so the rainwater might have washed the trains off instead, but might save Amtrak a little money that way, which they need as much money as they can get these days, but as usual. But with that, I believe we've got to the end of things for tonight. So thank you, everybody, for joining in on the stream this evening. Like I said, there will be no live stream next weekend. So there might be one the weekend after that. Just stay tuned. I will post notices of when I'll be doing my next live stream, but there will not be one next weekend. But I might, if I get the layout up and running, the O-scale train layout, I might post some videos of that in the meantime. So, as always, be on the lookout for those. And that's about it. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. Thank you all for watching. We will see you all next time here on the Bobby Harvey Video Productions YouTube channel, live streams here in Ottumwa. So, again, this is Bobby Harvey here in Ottumwa saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. So long.